cybersecurity. You cannot advance in cybersecurity if you don't have uh, a good foundation, a good start. I hope I'm still very audible, please.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. You cannot advance in cybersecurity if you don't have a good start. I'll be as brief as possible, and so that we will have time maybe to have questions from you guys. And I'm just going to talk a bit about cybersecurity and also try to narrow a path that you can take, especially for people who are trying to find themselves, find what their niche in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity might look small, might look minor, but believe me, it's a whole broad topic that if you don't know where you're going to get stuck along the line, or you're just going to give up. So I'm going to go straight to the small slides I had. We're going to define what cybersecurity is, security awareness. Cyber criminals take advantage of your trust, fear, greed, and plain old human error. We all agree that we are all human beings and we are prone to errors. We are prone to mistakes, and that's what these criminals leverage on. Security awareness training teaches you to spot, fix, avoid risks online, and use good cyber hygiene practices at work and at home. And what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is actually trying to stay safe online. We all have devices nowadays at home, and there's this saying that the number of devices that people have at their disposal now is more than the number of people in their house. If you check technically, you discover that the devices in your house, the gadgets in your house, are slightly or likely more than the people present. Take for example, you alone, you have a laptop, you have a phone, you have a machine, you have a phone. Imagine that everybody in your house has at least one phone and one laptop. That means that the number of people in your home are actually more than the number of people in the number of devices are more than the number of people in the house. Now, and we try to secure our houses as much as possible. Imagine more of our devices. If people break into our homes, what about our devices? The world is getting more digital, from businesses to banks, healthcare, etc. All of it, you find all of it online. Crime is following the same trend. You have ransom attack, which is one of the most rampant attack nowadays. High profile hacks in the news, phishing emails, and more sophisticated each day. New privacy law and regulations are being enacted. This is why cybersecurity is necessary. This is why cybersecurity is a whole big deal nowadays. And now I have this saying that cybersecurity is for everybody. You don't have to be in a tech field to learn cybersecurity, because believe me, as long as you connect the device online, you have to secure that device. You have to protect that device, because if this information gets into the hands of people or malicious hackers, they're going to use this information against you. And believe me, you will not like it when you see private and personal information about you outside there. Now, because the world is so connected, interconnected, everyone is a target. You are a target. Don't say that you don't have information. You don't. If they hack your phone, you're not getting anything. You, regardless of your phone, you are a target, because one, if your identity is used to commit a crime, there is minor proof to prove there is minor proof that can uh, bring you out of such a situation. How will you explain to somebody that is not in a computer? How will you explain to an officer of the law that you allowed your phone or you allowed your device and someone else used it and committed a crime? Imagine texting the president of your country that I'm going to kill you tonight. That means, and they trace it to your number, and your number is registered to your name. That means that you are actually the one who committed the crime, regardless of whether you did it or not. They're going to come after you. So your identity is first of all very important. It is just one of the accounts that gets breached, and criminals can use it to breach other accounts. Now, this also helps you to understand that your passwords have to be distinct from several accounts have to have different passwords that you can actually use if you have one password for all the accounts, you discover that it makes it very easy for hackers to break through all of your accounts. Now, yesterday was World Password Day. I don't know how many of us here know about that, but yesterday, the first Thursday of May, is celebrated as World Password Day, where there is a mass sensitization. If you go on Twitter, if you go on Facebook, you'd see a lot of IT guys, cybersecurity, ethical hackers post about passwords because it is actually a big deal. A lot of people still use common passwords, one to eight, QWERTY, and the name of your dog plus the day you were born, and those things are actually going to, if those are things that you have kept, they are actually going to lead to an easy attack, to an easy break on your account. The next thing that cyber criminals may target personal accounts and data breach, corporate ones, and vice versa. So this is just going further to explain what I have already said, and it is just for us to be a bit more cautious, a bit more careful about our devices and the information we use online. A lot of us, we are, in fact, all of us here, we are on WhatsApp, and we post a lot about our day-to-day activities, from what you ate, from where to where you went to, your girlfriend, you're on a trip. I mean, somebody can read your whole life by just what you post online. And so it's another caution for us that, okay, I am careful about what I post online, and I am cautious of the fact that people are watching. With or without my permission, they are watching and they can use this information against me in one way or the other. So it's also just a reason for us to remain cautious. Fraud and identity theft doesn't just affect an individual, it can affect your family. You might not be the target, your family might be the target. You can be targeting your family in one way, and you're just a means to actually get to to actually get to your family. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is what kinds of threats are there. From this, we are going to also look at the career path in cybersecurity and common certifications that you can take, and how you can build a career out of it. First of all, phishing and spear phishing attacks. This is actually uh, the highest that occurs nowadays. Business email compromise, social engineering scams, common malware and ransomware. Now, I'm going to, for the sake that I don't know who is listening and how much you know about this, I'm going to try to define each thing as short as possible so that we save time. Now, phishing and spear phishing attacks. Spear phishing is a form of phishing, but generally, what is phishing? Phishing is, I'll use a very common illustration of fishermen who go to the sea to catch fish that we eat. You discover that they bait their hook, they throw it into the water, and they are there. And a fish sees it and it's like, okay, this is food. And before you want to notice, discover that it's actually the fish has been caught. So it's almost the same scenario. An attacker gives some things to you and you feel like, okay, this information is good, and he makes you release information about you without information that you would normally not release. That's all about phishing. And spear phishing is actually targeting this attack to a particular person. It's targeting, like, okay, if I want to direct an attack directly using phishing to wealthy, it's called spear phishing. Another form of phishing is whale phishing, which is mass. Is, yeah, you just send an attack out there. You have business email compromise, social engineering scam. Social engineering is an attack on the human brain, on the human. If you cannot hack a device, you would hack the human being. How is it done? This is actually, people just, they sway you to give information about yourself, information that you would normally not give. Common malware and ransomware. Malware has to do with malicious software that has been programmed to cause damage on your machine, software that has been programmed to actually make your machine malfunction and release information. Now, ransomware is malicious way that has been programmed to actually freeze or stop the work or stop your machine. I'm trying to define it with using the most simplest term so that it's going to be easier for all of us to understand. Uh, your machine is actually attacked and you are demanded to pay a ransom in order to for your information to be released. Now, there are also fake websites that steal data and infect devices. I think we have all seen this in one way or the other. I'm going to actually stop here and talk a bit about career paths in cybersecurity because, like I earlier said, it's actually very broad. It is broad, and if you don't have a niche, if you don't find something that you want to do, you discover that you keep turning around one place and you end up giving up because you feel that there's nothing you can do. Now, cybersecurity is divided into three main parts. We have the blue team, the red team, and the purple team. I'm going to start with the blue team. The blue team, also known as defensive, these are people that actually try to protect and secure networks, secure the internet, secure companies from data breach. That means all what they do, they don't attack. They are there to monitor the system and prevent attacks from happening. They monitor the systems and prevent attacks from happening. And these people, they range from defensive, they are security personnel. They also do risk assessment. They look at the website, they look at a company, and they're able to tell them, okay, let's do this way. Let's use this method of operation because this is what is. Let's update our systems. This is their own role. They assess the risk and then tell you how dangerous or how secure you can be. I want to also there are also forensic investigators, forensic experts. What is their role? Their role is that after a breach, they come in, they look at the damage that has been caused and try to see how it can be recovered. This is also part of security because once there's a data breach and information is all out there, it's actually a bad omen for the company. It's actually a bad omen for an individual. And these forensic investigators, like we see in most movies, they come into the scene, they look at the sites, they try to see that okay, this is what happened, this is what was done, and so on and so forth. That is actually a brief about Blue Team. I'm trying to be brief so that at the end, you have time to ask your questions with respect to wherever I was fast. I'm sorry. I love talking about cybersecurity, so I just like assume that we are all together. But are we together? Let me ask, please. It should not be that I'm going alone. Are
Yes,
we all
please.
together?
Yes, please.
At least leave some messages in the chat box so that I know that we're all together. I've only been hearing Werby's voice. I've not heard any other person's voice. All right. And the next group of people are the red teamers. That's offensive. Their work is just to break. They break things for a living. They break things. They attack. They are there to break. You build it, they break. You build it, they break it. That's their job. Now, these people range from hackers, ethical hackers, pen testers, bug bounty hunters, and vulnerability analysts, uh, cybersecurity engineers, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of them. Those are parts that you can take in cybersecurity. You have ethical hacking. You are that's in offensive security. Sorry, ethical hacking, pen testing, bug bounty hunting, uh, vulnerability assessment, and all that. Those are uh, parts that you can take in cyber in offensive security. We also have the purple team. Now, the purple team is a mixture of both the blue team and the red team. There are people who have good mastery of attacking and defending. Now, these people have an upper hand because they know how a defense system is built and they know how an attack can happen. So it's easier for them to defend and it's easier for them to attack because they have a mastery of both departments. And it's also something that happens with time. You can actually, while finding a way in cybersecurity, you can actually um, try to figure out that okay, this is I am good at attacking, I am good at defending. So when finding your part in cybersecurity, you actually have to ask these questions. How what do I do best? Am I somebody that I like attacking? I like breaking. Am I so inquisitive? Do I like to know more? Do I want to actually, am I that optimistic to know what is happening in this place? Am I a bit reserved? Do I feel more like I want to protect? Do I feel more like I want to actually avoid attacks from happening? So when you answer the question, you will know that okay, I've already chosen cybersecurity. The next thing is that I'm going into red team or blue teams, or I'm doing purple. When you know this, you know that okay, I have already crossed from of cybersecurity to a red teamer or a blue teamer. The next thing now is that trying to figure out that particular aspect. When you make it clear that you're doing red teaming, make it clear you're doing blue teaming, you discover that you would have it's going to be easier for you narrowing down your path in cybersecurity, finding that particular niche that you need to excel in cybersecurity. Now, after this, we have how do how what is the path? Where do I start from? This is a question that is asked by a lot of people. Where do I start from? What do I do? How do I go about it? Cybersecurity, like any other field, has a base. It has a base, and first of all, you need a basic and essential knowledge in information technology, knowing what the devices are, how they work, how they operate. That is the base of cybersecurity. It is built on technology. So when studying cybersecurity, you know that you're going to start from knowing what technology is all about. IT is, you have a mastery of IT. The next thing that comes up is or let's say IT is networking. Network. This is key. I'll repeat that this is key because a lot of people feel that networking is not important with respect to cybersecurity. But believe me, there will be no cybersecurity without networks. There will be no cyber because the internet is built on networks. As long as two devices are connected, that is a network. So if you cannot understand what protocols are, port numbers, uh, the OSI reference model, all those things, you will not be able to actually understand what happens behind an attack or how an attack occurs or how you can monitor a system. Because all of those things are going to look strange to you. So after learning the essentials of IT, you have to push further by learning networking. It's actually very important as far as cybersecurity is concerned. Now, after learning networking, you have the introduction to cybersecurity. Introduction to cybersecurity is a whole different thing from IT essentials. It's actually bringing now all these terms. The terms you see here, this is not IT essentials. These are cybersecurity terms. These are terms with respect to cybersecurity: phishing, spear phishing, compromise, social engineering, scams, malware, ransomware. All these things fall under cybersecurity. That's the basis of cybersecurity. Now, knowing this, you from here you find you are able to pick a niche. It is true that you can do if you put your heart to it, you can actually do more than one particular role in cybersecurity. But believe me, you have to start from somewhere, and you cannot just want to learn everything at once. I always say that not every opportunity is for everybody. You find an opportunity and you work on it. I also would try to advise people that okay, don't apply for everything or don't try to take everything at once. It actually is a gradual process. If you feel that you can rush it, fine and good. But believe me, it's preferable to take it slowly, one thing at a time, and master it. Now, there are tools that you need to master with respect to cybersecurity, depending on the field that you have chosen. That can be, we can talk about that maybe in another whole webinar because it's a whole topic on its own, cybersecurity tools and and so on. Now, some beginner certifications that you can take with respect to cybersecurity. Are we still together? Please let somebody else answer. No,
Yes, I think they're writing on the comment box, the message box that they are hearing you. So yeah.
But
all
together,
right. All right. There are basic certifications that you need to take with respect to becoming with respect to cybersecurity. From the base, we spoke about IT essentials. Now there is CompTIA. Uh, I'm going to stop sharing so that I can type these certifications out in the chat box, and we all follow from there. There is um, the very basis of IT. There is CompTIA Security. It has a lot of certifications under. That is, sorry, CompTIA Security. You have CompTIA Security, you have CompTIA A, you have CompTIA S. All of these certifications help you give a base, like the base you need with respect to cyber, with respect to IT essentials. And there is also Cisco. Cisco gives Cisco Certified Network CCNA Network Administrator, CCNP Network Professional. There is CCNE. These are actually basic certifications to networking. You have these certifications. You're considered a network. At least you have knowledge in uh, networking. And believe me, when you apply for a network engineering role in an ISP, they're going to give it to you because these are basic certifications in networking. Now we're going to go further to certifications in cybersecurity. The very basic certifications. We're going to start with the most popular certification now that is given by ISC Squared. That is Certified Cyber Cybersecurity. This is certification is a bit of a hot cake now presently because a lot of people are actually taking it and it's free. That's what's making like IX is giving certification free of charge currently. It's actually free and you can actually take this. It gives you the basic knowledge on cybersecurity. Now we're going to go further. There is certified cyber. These are entry level certifications in cybersecurity. Cyber security technician. This one is given by EC Council and it's currently given. I don't know whether their promo is still up. This certification is about $999, but presently it's given at $199. So if you can apply and if they take you and you have the $199, you pay it. Believe me, it's all an investment to become better. From there, at least you from these two certifications, you have a base in cybersecurity. You can now decide picking your niche. We spoke about blue teams, red teams, purple teams. From the niche you pick, you're going to know which certification comes next for you. There, I'm just going to list them. They are not in any order. There is EJPT certification. There is CEH. This is also very hot cake. Certified ethical hacker. This is more specifically if you're going into ethical hacking, bug bounty, and penetration testing. This is for you. There is CPENS. These are for penetration testers. I'm listing more of red team certifications. Now for blue teams, you have that's defensive. You have forensic certifications. You have certifications with respect to SOC analyst, security operations center. You have certifications with respect to more networking certifications. These fall under blue teams as well. Now with purple teams, you just have to have a mastery of both, like good knowledge of defensive and offensive security. That is what purple teams is all about. Um, with this, I believe that I'm rounding up. I think that I have, if not, I have exhausted my time. And before I round up, one thing that's going to make you stand out, because everybody's getting into cybersecurity. One thing that's going to make you stand out, or I want to ask it this way: everybody gets into cybersecurity. What will make an employer pick you over somebody else is the skill you add to it. Aside the certifications and the degrees and whatever you're having, if you don't have the skills, believe me, you're not going to last in the field, regardless of the certifications, regardless of the degrees, whatever you have. If you don't sit down and build the skills, because the building, having the certification is one thing, having the skills is another thing. That people with these certifications and no skill, and they are at home. There are still people that have the skill with no certifications and they have the job. So the bottom line is not trying to amass much certifications. If you have if you're financially stable, you can take the certifications. But believe me, there are opportunities out there that help you build skill, and that's the first encouragement I want to give each and every one of us here, because that I think that's what the highest thing that is of value, the skill you have. What do you know with respect to the field you are in? It's not a boast, but I can actually present cybersecurity without having to read, without having to open notes left and right, because I know that at least I have a mastery of what I'm talking about. I have been able to also do a little bit as far as cybersecurity is concerned, and I know what I'm talking about. So I came across this opportunity. A lot of people also think that cybersecurity is very easy. Believe me, it's not that easy. If you're getting into cybersecurity, it's actually a field where you need to sit down, you need to work, you need to actually put yourself down and do the work. There are times that Wealthy is up from midnight to 6 a.m. Outside what she's actually trying to find one vulnerability, and that I think that's the reason why she organized something like this, because people who are into bug bounty, who want to further in ethical hacking, at times it weighs down on us so much that uh, we opportunities are there, but then it's actually very competitive too. There are a lot of people competing, and they will always look for people with the skills. If you have the skills, believe me, they are going to get to you. So I saw this program, this other certification that is being offered. I've just dropped the link in the chat box. This is actually, I think, it's also a beginner certification in cybersecurity, and it's going to be giving you a lot of details, knowledge as far as cybersecurity is concerned. This webinar is a 1 hour webinar which cannot cover everything. So this I've just dropped the link in the chat box. Check out the certification. It's given by Google itself, and it is 6 months. That means you're going to sit down 7 hours each day for 6 months, and you're going to have that base that you need in cybersecurity. Believe me, you cannot do bug bounty without a base in cybersecurity, because you need to understand what you're doing. It's not all about everybody wants to break into their girlfriend's phone. All of us here, well, I think that we are all ethical people and we are doing things the right way. So we all have that we all want to break, we all want to defend. But believe me, you cannot just wake up one day and you're where and you're like jackpot. You have to actually go through a process, and that is starting from the IT essentials, like I earlier said, to the cybersecurity basics, picking a niche and pursuing that niche, and actually also sharing your ideas, which is also very important, because as you learn, you're supposed to share and network with other people. I have met a lot of us here. I believe I know few people here, and it's only because they have either shared their resources or have shared mine, and we met online and we are like, wow, we have the same goal, we have the same place we're going to. So let's just keep sharing and let's keep going. Now, the last thing I'm going to share are platforms where you can learn, platforms where you can learn for for free. Most of these platforms are free. Some are paid for, and well, it depends on your pocket now. There is Try Hack Me. That's the most famous. There is Hack the Box. I'm just writing this in the chat box so that you can copy and save. There is Blue Teams for Blue Teamers. There is Easy Council. Easy Council. They also have a lot of courses. There is Cybrary. There is Pawn Till Dawn. This one is for penetration testers. Pawn Till Dawn. And there is oh, this one is keeping my head. I think as soon as I remember it, I'm going to put it in the chat box. So thank you very much. My name is Ngala Percy, and I would love us to connect even on LinkedIn or Twitter and share ideas together. So while when it takes the floor, I'm just going to drop my Twitter handle on chat box. And I think that we all have had a nice time. So I'm going to be waiting for your questions. I don't know if we're going to take questions now or we take them at the end of the session. Well, over to you.
Okay, Mr. Percy, thank you very much. It was really amazing. The section with you was really educating, and I had a lot to learn, even though if I've started out as a cybersecurity analyst. So I would want to say, if you have a question, I would want you to raise your hand. There's an option on this meeting group or platform where you can raise your hand to show that you want to ask a question. Okay, so let's allow Prince Agala to ask his question. So you could just put on your mic and ask your question to Mr. Percy and Ngala.
Um, Hello everyone. Good evening here. Sorry I joined late and I couldn't introduce myself. My name is Prince Sagala and I'm a tech enthusiast. I know this meeting is about being a bug bounty hunter. I saw it on LinkedIn and decided to join. But you spoke about cybersecurity in its basic form. And I wanted to ask, what's the main difference? Two questions that came to my mind. What's the main difference between cybersecurity and IT security? That's the first question I have. And I think my second question is, you said yesterday was um, World Passwords Day, which is very interesting. I think I learned that today. But my question around passwords is we all know that we can't have multiple passwords for all our socials, emails, and everything. It's virtually impossible. So, what do you think about password managers? And if it's something you use, which can you recommend for us? Once again, thank you for such a very insightful session. Yeah, over.
Okay, Prince Agala, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you for these two questions. Believe me, I almost had a fight. Is it yesterday or day before yesterday because of this very question? The difference between you said cybersecurity and IT security. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I call it most of often information security. Now, there's a lot of contradiction with respect to that question, but believe me, if you get to the internet and a lot of other sources, validated sources, they're going to give you the same response. Now, there is a very uh, line of difference between the two. All of them are talking about security, but information security is about securing information that is both online and offline. You can agree with me that there are devices, there are networks that are actually not online. It's not everything that is online. As much as we have a lot of information and everything online, a lot of people keep their stuff offline. Like buildings, technology buildings, they still need security too, because data breach can occur. You might need physical access to your site, to your facility, to be able to breach your network. So you need physical security, and that's part of information security, because that's actually securing information. But it's not actually information that is online. It has to do with physical devices too. That falls under information security. Now, cybersecurity and okay, information security also has cybersecurity under it, because it has your securing information both online and offline. Now, cybersecurity is focused just online. Cybersecurity is just online for securing information that is available on the internet. Second question: How? Uh, what about password managers? And I understand, and I would say that believe me, it's possible to have multiple accounts for have different accounts for, I mean, different passwords for your different accounts, and that is what is advisable, and that's what is implemented by a lot of security experts. Now, your question about password managers, I there is this post that I saw on Twitter which says that if you are a tech guy and you don't have a password manager, then you have to recheck what you're doing in tech, because first of all, you need to secure your information. Now, it's not generally a bad idea to use password managers. It's actually recommended because it helps you secure your passwords. It helps you have multiple passwords. If you cannot remember all of them, you actually put in a password manager, or maybe you don't really put the passwords. You put something that's going to help you know that, okay, while putting this password, this is what I had in mind. You get right, and you now have one password that's going to help you just know that, okay, this is when I get this. If I know this one password, I know my all the other passwords. And there's also there are other methods. If you don't feel comfortable with password managers, the next thing that in fact, you need to feel comfortable with it. And because I actually advocate for the fact that we should use password managers to help you secure your passwords in case you feel like you're going to forget them. The next thing is actually, well, find a secure password manager. You're actually supposed to do a research, be able to look at the reviews on various password managers and know the one that you can go in for. Secondly, there are two-factor, three-factor authentication that you can use. There are also authentication tokens that you can use that helps you secure your accounts. Now, with two or three-factor authentication, you discover that if you have or let's use Gmail for an example. If you have um, one Gmail account lock onto two phones, and you have two or three factor authentications, you once you're trying to input the password on one phone, it signals on the other phone. And for most of your accounts, there is always the for most of your platforms, there is always that forgotten password option, which helps you retrieve your password regardless of how maybe you've forgotten, maybe you lost it, and so on. So it's for you to actually be able to put in parameters in place in such a way that if you've forgotten your password, you have recovery methods. It's actually very important to have different passwords for your different accounts. I would emphasize on this because if you have one password for all of your accounts, if one is hacked, that means all of the others are gone. All of the others are gone, and you're going to be kicked out of all of them. So I strongly recommend the fact that we all have different passwords for your different accounts. Thank you. I don't know if I've answered your question or there's still a doubt.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Any other question? I'm just going to see the hands, and after that, if there's any other question, you just put up your hand and now so that we count and then we just take the number of questions that are available.
If you know you have a question, you could just use the same option on in this same application where you can raise your hand, so we can count and know and allocate how many minutes we should spend on each of the questions, so we can move to the next. You can try to raise your hand, or if you don't know how to use that, then you can write on the comment section your question, or I have a question, so we can allow you to ask.
Okay, we're going to take that there are no questions and it was totally understood. Thank you very much. Over to you, Welby.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. I am grateful for having you again, Percy, and everybody in this meeting. So, the meeting it's supposed to be how to get started on as a bug bounty hunter, and then I can't just jump the basic understanding of cybersecurity and show you becoming a bug bounty hunter. Like when Percy was talking, he said something about penetration testers, and I think that was a little too big a word for you to understand. I think I should make it very simple. There are hackers that do not hack illegally, or okay, yeah, that hack with permission. Maybe that's easier to say. So before you hack a company, before you hack an organization, a website, you're given the permission to do. And then you can do this freelance. What do we mean freelance? You don't even need to pick your bag, get a bus, and get to the office. You can do it from the comfort of your house. So a bug bounty hunter is a security researcher who is employed under a platform to find vulnerabilities. That is, you're finding bugs, you're finding security issues on an application, on a network, on a server, on a mobile phone, the mobile applications you use, and then you report it and you get a bounty. It could be a cash bounty, it can be a gift bounty, depending on the kind of vulnerability you find. Now, if you've chosen to get started as a cybersecurity personnel and all of the things you learned today, I believe you jot them down, or someone asked me at the comment section if this was recorded. Yes, this is recorded, and I know you too at your end, you're recording this whole webinar. You would want to go back to consume more knowledge. If you've made a decision to get started and then you're fascinated by getting started as an ethical hacker who is a bug bounty hunter searching for vulnerability as a freelancer, then I would want you to concentrate on this second section of the webinar, because it's going to be a bit practical, but I believe that not a lot of people here are already familiar with one of some of the tools or the things I'll be doing. But I'm trying to show you that this is a very simple approach to get started as a bug hunter. I like to call the word bug hunter. Most of my friends like to call it security researchers, but I like the word bug hunter because then finally there's money coming in after you're done spending hours finding vulnerabilities. And then if you allow me, let me share my screen and let's get started. And I wouldn't want you to be overwhelmed, because obviously you'll be overwhelmed, because I'll do some things that it would have to take a lot of classes to teach you from the beginning, but I'll try everything possible to go very, very simple. I'll consider everybody on this platform as a newbie, even if I know a lot of people here are already into ethical hacking. I'll try to use the simplest example to explain how a bug. I want to do one day in the life of a bug bounty hunter. I want to show you how I'll get started, what I will do, and the points where you submit and the point you wait to get paid, the platforms where you can get registered as a bug hunter. You don't need a certification. That's the beautiful thing about becoming a bug hunter. If you already had the basic understanding, Percy shared some website where you can learn free. So imagine you've learned free of without paying, and you don't have these top certifications, because I know EC Council certifications are very expensive and you can't afford it at the time, but you want to save up to be able to raise those kind of capital to pay for those career investments. Now you can jog your muscle memory by learning practically how to do these things. And then when you start getting paid, you can decide to buy the certifications or sit for those certifications. And now the beautiful thing about starting out as an ethical hacker, considering bug bounty hunting, is when you sit for these certification exams, you pass them by one sitting once for them, because now you're already, your hands are already dirty, you already know what is happening, you know how to find vulnerabilities, you understand everything happening on the cyberspace even without the certification. So when you now pay for those certification, like I have an information that you are allowed to write some of this exam just twice, some of them just once. And imagine you've paid like $500, $1,000, and then you sit for it once and you don't pass it, you would have to write again. So the beauty of getting started as a bug bounty hunter is that it makes a lot of things simpler for you. You make money, you raise capital, you sit for the certification exam to get other remote jobs, and then you sit for those exams with confidence, because now you're not new to cyber security and hacking. Okay, present my screen right now. So I'll show you a few things I'll do as a beginner who just wants to who just got started into bug bounty hunting. Thank you very much. Okay, so while I'm sharing my screen and starting the whole practical section of a bug hunter, a life in the one day in the life of a bug hunter, if you have any question you would want to ask, I would want you to please write it down, because you will get confused. It's allowed you. I don't know, my system is lagging a bit, but sorry. Okay, so I'll just show you the platforms you can register as a bug hunter, right? Now this is Bug Crowd, a bug bounty platform. All you need is your email. You know how to register in applications. The necessary ways, you go to the website is bugcrowd.com. Simple. And then you create your account. On creating the account, this is how the dashboard looks like. This is my I just have this dashboard for the sake of this practical section. Now, let's say I'm already registered and I want to start hunting. I've gone through the foundational classes of ethical hacking, bug bounty hunting. You would have taken some special classes, and now you've gotten started. What you would do is you come to the programs, you're looking for the programs that you want to hack or find vulnerabilities and report. Now, one of the things I will ask you to do as a beginner bug hunter is don't go for those ones that have very high offers. You see, there's one here from Tesla. Tesla put up their company here. This is not just almost a lot of companies register here for you to test them. You can see Apple, Facebook, Meta, most of the companies you're familiar with are all registered here. Not just on this platform. I hack with three different platforms, which I'm going to show you two from them. So these companies are registered here, and now they show you how much they are ready to pay for you to find a vulnerability and report to them. Now we had Tesla, and Tesla was going to offer us. This is Tesla. I'm interested with Tesla. I think I like Tesla a lot. Tesla is ready to give us $100 to $100,000 if we find a vulnerability. Now, like I said, remember, as a beginner, don't go for these ones. Why are you not going for these ones? A lot of other hackers who are better, who have been here for 3 years, 4 years, are here also looking for these $10,000. And one of the things about bug bounty hunting is that it is the survival of the fittest. Who you could find a vulnerability and report it, and someone reported 10 minutes before you, they will pay the person and they will not pay you. So this is why I recommend that as a beginner, you will not want to go and look for those very competitive ones. And now the beautiful thing again, I would want to say, I just remember this. You can start the free. There are ones you do for free, and the companies can send you clothes, wristwatch, bags, bounties. It doesn't have to be money. But what those companies do is when you build a career path with them, you're always working for them for free of charge. Now you're learning because you're building muscle memories, you're learning new skill, and then at the end, what happens is they now can employ you as their personal. penetration tester. So whenever they need their website to be tested, they give you a direct message. You become their hunter. You don't even need to go through this platform. They now send you a direct message to become their direct hunter. So you now have a secure job opportunity from them. But let's still take Tesla. Let's say this is the one I want, Tesla. So all I need to do is I need to open the one I want to hack. I think it's opening up. So when you open it, the next thing you want to do, remember, this is the most important information I think you should go home with, is to read the, what is it called, rules of engagement. Because you know why? If you go against these things, these terms and condition, there's a penalty, right? So you would have to follow. When they say don't test a particular website, don't test a particular website. When they say don't test why I use the website, their website and their subdomains. When you're told don't test a particular subdomain, don't test that particular subdomain, because when you test it, because in companies like Tesla would ask you to submit your ID card before you test them. So should in case there's a maybe you overload your server and cause denial of service. I hope you understand what denial of service is, but if you cause a denial of service to their website or to their server, they can find you. So that is why you also have to follow the program rules. We will not have to start reading all of this because I'm just trying to show you the important things you should note if you choose to get started as a bug bounty hunter. Now, going down, you start seeing how much they are offering. If you find even see the website they want you to find vulnerability in, Tesla motors.com, Tesla.service. These are all of the services they want you to find these vulnerabilities on. Let me see if they showed you how much they are going to offer. Okay, so they didn't put. Okay, now if you find a tier one, a tier five, we call it tier five, some people call it P5. A tier five, that's depending how vulnerable the vulnerability you find is. Like if you find an SQL attack on a server or on a website, you are going to be paid high. What is SQL attack? An attack against the database. When you register in a company, all those information on a website, everything you fill on the website is secured and saved in a database. So if you can run an attack that opens up the database and you're able to dump the database, get their email, password, probably the password may be in a hashed form, no problem. You can pick that out and go to the internet or use Hydra or use Aircrack NG to crack it to get the, because when it is on hash, you can't read it, so you have to convert it to human readable text. Now those kind of vulnerabilities, when you find it, they pay you very high. Now, if you find SQL in cross-site scripting attacks, you don't get a lot of bounty because it is a browser side attack. What is browser side attack? It affects only the users in most of the cases. It affects the user, especially when you find a reflected cross-site scripting attack. Now, all of these attacks are the things you learn in this foundational class that Percy talked about. Some of the free platform he also shared that you can learn. That's where you learn what is SQL injection, cross-site scripting attack. So let's say I'm interested to find a vulnerability here. I'm going to launch a tool. I've picked Tesla. I'm interested to hack Tesla. One of the first thing I'll do is I'll go to this tool called, okay, I'll power on my hacking browser. This is Kali. I don't know, my screen is really lagging, and I'll ask you to please. So there's a tool every web application penetration testers use. It is paid for, and also we have the community edition. Is Bob Suit. So I'm going to run my Bob Suit right now, and then I'll start. Like I'm going to be finding vulnerability on the website. I'm just going to show you a snippet. I'm obviously not going to hack the website because I've not read the program rules, so I don't do the wrong things. But I want to show you the most important things I would do as a bug hunter. Then I'll show you one or two practical example of vulnerabilities you can find as a new beginner. There are just two I would recommend you find on every platform, and you get paid. You easily find them. Almost all the websites that are out there today are fine, still have these vulnerabilities. You have cross-site scripting attack, you have SQL attack. The reason these vulnerabilities are always available, if you go and check the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities since 2017 till now, cross-site scripting has always managed. Okay, sorry. So SQL injection have managed to remain on the top 10 vulnerabilities to find on a website. Cross-site scripting has managed to remain on the top 10 vulnerabilities that you can find and be paid for. Even when a company calls you, let's say you're not even doing it for bug bounty hunting, you're called by a company directly to do penetration testing for them on their website. These are the vulnerabilities you want to check for, because a lot of developers, like, there's something I need to say, right? The vulnerabilities you're finding on the website is the mistake of a developer. Most of the times, it's either you're looking for the developer mistake or you're looking for the administrator mistake. What do I mean? The website is written with a code, and who wrote the code? The developers, right? They are the guys who wrote the code. So if you must find these vulnerabilities, obviously you're trying to look for a vulnerability from the developer's mistake, not um okay. So this is my Bob suit, right? So I'll just go quickly to my Bob suit is being powered on. I'll go back to my Firefox. I'm trying to use the browser here. I can't really start explaining all of the tabs, but I'll just quickly use this. This is lagging very bad. I'm sorry. So I already know that the company name is Tesla.com. I'll crawl Tesla.com. Okay, please follow up with me. I'm trying to see the reason why my system is lagging. Okay, so this is a website now. Let me use this quick test website. I think the Tesla stuff is really taking time to load on my server, so I'll just use this quick website to run the attack. Let's say this is the website I want to run the attack. Let's assume this is Tesla. Now I want to check for cross-site scripting attack, because I know if I submit that vulnerability to the website, to the bug bounty, bug crowd. Remember the place we registered is bug crowd, bugcrowd.com, and then I want to find the vulnerability on cross-site scripting. Now, what is cross-site scripting attack? Simply, I think I should give an explanation. Cross-site scripting attack is when you put a code or a script attack to manipulate the script of the web application, of the web, of that same web application you're trying to attack. So whenever you put a script to comment out, or to say, okay, when you are done running this script at this script comment, or this script or this code, I want you to run this second code. So if you have the ability to include a code into a source code into the web application code, and the developer do not sanitize your input and assume that if you come to this website that they put a search option, you just search test like a normal user. They assume that if you come to this website you're going to search test, then the developer is actually not up to date in security, because not everybody is using the website as a random user. People are there to attack the website. People are there to see the vulnerability of the website. People are there to take advantage of that website. So one of the simplest attack I would want to show you is this same cross-site scripting attack. I have a notepad running. Okay, so this is a script. Okay, let's copy this script tag. So I'm saying that when I take this, I'm going to copy it. Okay, I'm saying I don't know how the developer wrote the browser side query for the search option, right? But I want to include a script into the same search option, but I don't want to search the random thing. I don't want to search the name of anybody or the products they have. I want to get a cookie section of this particular user. I would build a simple script like this, and I will put it in the search box. And if the search box allows me to get a response like this is in the search box, I'll just paste it there, and then I'll click on go. Okay, now this is it. If the search box allow me to put that comment and did not sanitize the comments and either comment it out, like if it was properly written, what will happen is when I put that search script comments, like I'm looking for the cookie of this particular website for the particular user, it's going to turn it into a comment. Then it will not allow it to run at the back end, but it's going to just take it garbage in, garbage out, and run it. Then it was not properly written. What happened is I'm going to get this pop-up. Now, as a bug bounty hunter, this is all they need as the evidence to submit to the company, that this particular search box is vulnerable to this attack. So what you do is you screenshot this screen like this. Probably if you want for more details, if you're very sure that that particular place is vulnerable, you put a recording screen when you put the search and say this point, and you submit it to them. I will show you that in the where you submit the what is it called, on the Tesla, on the bug crowd. I'll show you. You put your, all they need is what vulnerability are you looking for. You write it, what is the proof of concept that you found this vulnerability, which is this video. That's all. What is the proof of concept that you found this vulnerability in their website? Is this video. So when you check this video you've made to show that there's a pop-up on their screen, and you send it to them, and you are like the first people to report, you get the approximate bounty, because they will write, if you're finding, we already know that SSS, which is cross-site scripting attack, is a Tier 5 attack. So if you find this kind of vulnerability in Tesla, you're so sure you're going home with $500, because it's a Tier 5. So the higher the tier, there's Tier 2, there's Tier 1. That's where they pay you those $100. And those ones, you're looking for file inclusion. You're hacking their server, their database. Anything that make you hack their database, their server, their administrative panel, you get as high as that. And I don't think if you get started as a cybersecurity enthusiast, and you chose bug bounty hunting, and in the space of time you should be as perfect and good to search for those kind of vulnerabilities. And this is why I'm showing you the very quick vulnerabilities that you can find that is almost on every website, and then you can report and get bugs. So when you report this to them, you get the bounty. But now the question I would want to ask if I was listening to this same webinar is, how does this even affect the user? Now, what this attacker will do to this is they will take this same, they'll click OK to this. They find out that this is vulnerable to SSS attack. They'll click an OK, right? Then they will come to this link here, right? They'll come to this place. If you're looking at they'll come to this here. They will copy this. When they copy this, Look at, if you're looking at it very well, I want you to concentrate because I want to show you something. If you're looking at the search bar, my browser tag very well, where I already highlighted, you see something like PHP question mark text equals to query. Is the equals to that is vulnerable, because that's the search functionality that is vulnerable. What I will put is that same script, what's it called? This same thing I copied from, okay, this same tag, this same script I copied from here, I will include it into this place. This script allow document.cookie scripter close, I copied. I will include it into this search query at this top here. If I include it here, I will copy it and send it to someone I know that uses the website. Now, most of the time we don't know. That is why you see they go to those dark web, they go to those deep web, they go to places where they can buy database information of you and me, and then they will just send you with different random senders, and it gets to your inbox. Now, because you already trusted Tesla, you will not want to think, oh, okay, it's a scam or something. You will just click it, and when you click it, it steals your cookie section. And when it steals your cookie section, obviously, in this, what is it called? Sorry, please manage with my screen. It's really lagging, but we have to do this, right? So on this, my notepad, this same script alert document.cookie, I would have added a H reference. What is a H reference? The website I would want to redirect them to steal their cookie section. So when I embed it there, you will not know it is being embedded in that particular what is it called, link that was sent to you. You will not know it was embedded, because now it's coming from the original website. So it's not a trust issue. It's just that the website is vulnerable, not your fault, not the user's fault. It is the website fault. So you already trusted this website. So when you see their link or their message in your inbox, and you know it's tesla.com, so it's not like Tesla HTTP. You know, they've taught people not to click links that are HTTP, click links that are HTTPS. So you already seen that it has a secured HTTP, and then it is coming from Tesla. By default, you click it, and when you click it, it's not the one that will log you out and ask you to log in. You guys are already familiar with when they log you out, ask you to log in back. You be like, this is fraud. No, this is not asking you for anything. What just happened is it takes you back to Tesla, and you're logged in into Tesla. Then it steals your cookie section and send it to the attacker, and then the attacker finds your proximity. If you're in the US, they get a VPN and put the VPN that they're in US too. If they are very good at their craft, they find your exact location where you are, and then they put that same location so that the application is not wondering, why is this person logged in US right now, and in the space of 2 hours they are in Nigeria. It's not even possible. If they are very good at their craft, they will be in the same proximity with you, and then they impute the cookie section into a cookie manager. And when they impute that into the cookie manager, they get logged in like you, not asking for authentication, not asking for OTP, nothing. Because now we know that website, in the section layer, if you understand networking, he talked about networking. At the section layer is where your information is being encapsulated, and you're giving a cookie section to remember you. That is why there are some websites you don't log in. Immediately you come, especially if you're still in 2-3 days of usage, immediately you open the same website, you're automatically logged in, because they have the cookie section to remember themselves that this person with this information and this information can be logged in. So this is why this vulnerability is really dangerous, because imagine it's a shopping application, and I log in like you, and I'm able, and I already put my card and everything there, charge me on request, and I make those purchases. By default, they will charge you and send me those products, thinking it was still you. So this is why the companies, when you find these kind of vulnerabilities, are quick to do something about it. So two things you report is, if you find the vulnerability, you record it, you send it to them, tell them the name of the vulnerability. The next thing, you tell them remediation. What is remediation? How do we take care of this vulnerability? Next thing you tell them is, I think, let me see if my PC is still acting up. Okay. See, if you find the, trying to look for report. Okay, so if you find vulnerability, you go to their Tesla report. This thing is down here, and then you click on report. Report the vulnerability you found. And when you click on report the vulnerability you find, the information disclosure you found, the recommendation for cross-site scripting is just to tell them that the developer should sanitize users' inputs. Do not assume that every user is not malicious and is using the website as it's supposed to be built. When you submit that, they send you an email to accept the particular vulnerability because you have a proof that this vulnerability is in this website. And then you get your bounty sent to your, when you were registering this account or whatever you put for payment, they sent that same bounty into your account. If